Welcome! And today we'll dive into a couple of great entitled parent stories and their reactions. Coming up we have My Auntie expects me to give back a cookbook our grandma gave to me 10 years ago. After less than 4 days after grandma passed away. Plus we have I got out of the hospital and entitled Mom sent me right back. I just know you're gonna love these stories, so this should be a fun session. Hi, this is Derek. I just put the Drama Llama, Fred, back in his pen so that I can do this quick video for you with some of the stuff that Fred found on Reddit earlier today. If this is your first time watching our videos, help me out by watching to the end, and then giving me some feedback in the comment area below. I do respond to every single one, so don't be shy. And if you want more of these videos daily, don't forget to like and subscribe, with notifications turned on for this channel. Oh boy, let's get ready for some stories. Lady in Black 27 posted. My auntie expects me to give back a cookbook our grandma gave to me 10 years ago. After less than 4 days after grandma passed away. So my grandma gave me this cookbook that has been passed down 4 generations in the family. Making me the 5th to have it. She gave it to me when I got a house and started university. 10 years ago. My auntie was in the room when it was given too. My one cousin was jealous because she thought she deserved it. As I didn't spend as much time with grandma living far away. If Hitler, Stalin, and Martha Stewart had a threesome, my auntie is the product. She's the most emotionally abusive person I've ever met and hates my mom for finding real love. And remarrying after she got divorced. She expected my mom never to even date again like her. Well, in December my grandma passed away on my birthday. She was my idol and role model and she loved me and I loved her so dearly. I was the last person she remembered before her Alzheimer's took over completely. Well, not even 3 days later I find out my auntie is looking for this book. And demands it so she can make copies for the entire family. My oldest cousin thinks it's her birthday, right, and my other girl cousin just had a baby, so she thinks she deserves it so she can pass it down to her little girl. Because I can't have kids, I'm having a hysterectomy this next month. I've told them all to F off. Grandma gave this to me 10 years ago. Before I got sick, not that that matters. She gave it to me and I don't have to give it over to anyone for any reason. Not even roommates were allowed to touch this book. None of them are speaking to me now, and I'm really effing mad. I'm so disappointed over their entitled feelings. And throwing it at me that I can't have kids. I turned 27 the day my grandma died. I want kids, I just can't medically have them. No one is getting this book. She gave it to me and she was the only person to ever accept me as family. I miss my grandma. I wish I understood the meaning of family. What's written sounds bizarre to me and I want to feel those good feelings. Just to clarify, I'm hurt because they won't speak to me. They're speaking to everyone else instead of me. I haven't heard once from this auntie, but she said everything to my mom. And hurt my mom so much more. And my mom had to relay it to me thinking I had stole the cookbook because my mom and I weren't talking. When my grandma gave me the book 10 years ago. So I either never told her or it was so minor back then she forgot I had it. I don't have any respect for people who talk to others about a problem, but not to the person who is the only one that can rectify the problem. She shouldn't have involved my mom. The book is extremely delicate, so it can't be copied unless painstakingly by hand. This book came from her great-grandmother, my great-great-great-great-grandmother, from England on the boat with her to Canada. I've been working on making a copy of it digitally already for years, but it's massive. It has sections in it about meat cuts, canning, and even table settings. Which way the knife blade should point. It also has every generation's writing in it as they scored recipes. I remember crying the first time I got to mark my first recipe as excellent. My auntie was in the room when my grandma gave it to me the first time. It's been 10 years and I've spoken less than a few sentences to that douche canoe. Because of things she did to me when I lived with her for a short while. I'm not spending any time giving anything to her. She also didn't even ask me herself, but did it in a way that it demanded my mom make me give it back. After explaining to my mom, she agreed with me. PS update on decision, venting and all the opinions that were well expressed. Has given me really good ideas on how to safely copy/digitize the book. And to preserve it when I can afford to. So when I find a store to do it, I'm going to have copies made. For each of my cousins only for next year on the date. A birthday present from me to everyone in memory. Of the best person I have the honor of knowing. If her auntie wants a copy, she can borrow one of her kids' versions to go copy. I'm not going out of my way for her, but I do really respect this gift. And won't covet it and it be lost to the family. I'm also going to leave out a few pages of the book that have the recipes that are my favorite and I'm known for them specifically for. Because they are so amazing and I want just one thing to be mine and Grandma's. I think that's a more than reasonable compromise for all the work I'll be taking on to afford the process. Nothing crazy, like 5 pages only. The book is hundreds of pages long. What are your thoughts on Lady in Black 27 story? Please share in the comments below. Here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. Fit Concentrate 9540 reacted with, when I read that the aunt demanded the book and intended to make copies, my first thought was that she would never give it back or it would be lost. Or she would use it to blackmail family. You want a recipe? You have to do and give me this for it. She only said she wanted to use it to make everyone a copy. What she meant was she wanted to make every one of her kids copy. And she keep the original. I know her too effing well to fell for the BS. I just can't believe she started it 2 days after. Do it yourself. Make a cookbook. Amazon publishing is super easy. Each recipe can have a photo of Grandma's recipe at the top. Then the recipe typed out underneath. Add in some touching stories about you and your grandma together. Then put it on Amazon at $49.99 and send the link to purchase it to your aunt and cousins. What am I doing here? Reacted with. If you want to stay in a relationship with these people, highly doubtful, get someone to scan the front cover and all the pages. And send it everyone in an email as a PDF. Keep the original. That is the compromise. If they start making a fuss, point out that Granny gave it to you when in sound mind. Because she wanted you to have it above anyone else. Anne knows this because she was on the room at the time. When the time comes to pass on the original, you will pick which family member gets the book, as is now your right to do so. Just like Granny did. What a bunch of great reactions. Now on to the next story posted by Mr. Steal Yo Grill, who posted, I got out of the hospital and entitled mom sent me right back. Cast. EM, entitled mom. Dad, my father. NM, neighbor mom. Me, her new stepdad. CB, EM's cool boyfriend. I just got out of the hospital for extensive knee surgery. And walking out the door of the hospital reminded me of this story. Important things to note. I have a severe allergy to cashews. It's bad enough that 1/100 of one will kill me if I'm not treated properly and quickly. Nowadays I always make sure to have an EpiPen on at all times. But when this story took place, I was a little more forgetful about it. I was 9, leave me alone. And didn't always have it. I have asthma, which can be a pretty lousy combination with anaphylaxis. At the time of this story, my dad was working for a company that treated him like garbage and wouldn't give him time off for anything, except medical emergencies pretty much. This story starts about 4 days before my 10th birthday. Story. A week before my birthday, my dad's boss told him he was going to San Francisco for work stuff. We lived in Denver at the time, which meant my dad was going to miss my birthday. It was upsetting, but I understood, and he said we'd have a party once he got back. While he was gone, my brother and I were staying with entitled mom. At the time, we knew she was a little entitled, but my dad trusted her to take care of us. On day 3 of my dad's trip, my brother and I were playing in their living room when entitled mom offered us some granola bars as a snack. At the time, I was young and wasn't very cautious, so I didn't always read ingredients for things I was eating. Unfortunately, there were cashews in the granola bar, so when I took the first bite, I started to feel it pretty quickly after. Within minutes I was throwing up everywhere, in severe pain, and my throat was closing up. And as if it couldn't get worse, that was when I realized I had forgotten my EpiPen. Then, the panic and closing airways triggered an asthma attack. And I also didn't have my inhaler. So, at that point CB calls an ambulance and I pass out on the floor. The paramedics were able to keep me from dying of the combination of anaphylactic shock and asthma attack, but I did end up slipping into a coma for 11 days. This meant I was in a coma on my birthday, but I guess that was probably pretty low on the list of concerns, considering they weren't 100% sure I was going to make it out of the coma. So, a week after my birthday, I finally wake up. At first, I was fairly calm about waking up in a hospital. Until I found out that I had been in a coma for 11 days. At which point I started panicking and almost gave myself another asthma attack. Anyway, they kept me there for a few days just to make sure I was okay. And it was safe for me to go home. So, we finally get home, and as soon as I walk in I see my brother, my grandparents, my aunt, my uncle, my 2 cousins, entitled Mom, and NM, and her kids, who my brother and I are good friends with. As well as a big sign that reads, "Happy birthday and welcome back the land of the living." They had planned a surprise birthday party for me, once they found out I was out of the coma. So, we went about doing birthday party things and hanging out. I got some questions from my brother and cousins about the coma, while the neighbor mom bakes my cake. However, the only important thing that was happening at this time was the following conversation between entitled Mom and neighbor mom. Neighbor mom, man, that must have been terrifying for him to go into that coma. I mean, imagine having to be that careful about everything you eat. Entitled Mom, oh, don't tell me you buy all of that. Neighbor mom, what? Entitled Mom, he was clearly faking it to get attention. Everyone knows that asthma and allergies aren't real. Neighbor mom, both of those are very real and very serious problems. Entitled Mom, whatever. You sheeple are just too stupid to see through the government's lies. Then entitled Mom just wandered off. I feel it's important to note that at this time, the birthday cake had just been put in the oven. And this conversation happened in the living room, which did not have a line of sight into the kitchen. After a while, the cake finally finished baking, and we all congregated in the dining room to eat it. So, everyone sang happy birthday to me, and my aunt cut the cake and gave everyone a slice. I was about to take the first bite when the luckiest thing that could have happened. I dropped my fork on the floor. At this point, I, wanting to act all grown up and solve my own problems, decided I'd go into the kitchen and clean the fork myself. Right as I finish and start walking back out to the dining room, when I hear my dad yell, "What the F did you just say?" I run out to see what's going on and see my dad standing up staring daggers at entitled Mom while she cowered in fear of him. Entitled Mom, whimperingly, it was for his own good. It turned out that after the conversation between entitled Mom and neighbor mom, entitled Mom had snuck into the kitchen and poured most of a bag of mixed nuts that she had brought with her into the cake. Dad slams his hand on the table. How the F is that for his own good? Entitled Mom starts to gain some confidence as she doesn't see a problem with what's happening. Well, if he had eaten the cake without knowing they were there, he wouldn't have been able to fake a reaction, because he wouldn't have known that there was anything in the cake to react to. Dad, what the actual F is wrong with you? Entitled Mom, I was trying to prove to you sheeple that allergy. Dad, I knew inviting you here was a mistake. I figured it was good for the boys to have you in their lives. But you've made it abundantly clear that it is not. Entitled Mom, so what are you saying? Dad, I'm saying, get the F out of my house and stay the F away from my kids. Entitled Mom, you can't do that. They're my kids too. That's right, everyone. Em was my actual mom. Dad, not after what you just pulled, they're not. And if you want to take this to court, I'll make sure that you aren't even allowed in the same state as them. Now get the F out of my house before I call the cops. Entitled Mom, you just wait until my father hears about this. Her dad is very wealthy, so I think she was expecting him to help her get custody of my brother and me. We found out later that not only did her boyfriend break up with her and kick her out of his house, but when her dad found out about what she did, he refused to let her live with him, stopped giving her money, and said that if she took my dad to court, he would support my dad. As you can expect, she never took us to court. And as for the rest of the party, we just bought a new cake, because nobody wanted to take the time to bake another one. We also decided to just throw out the pan we had used for the first one, because she had put so many nuts in it that we were worried about it contaminating anything we put in it after that. What are your thoughts on Mr. Steal Yo Grill's story? Please share in the comments below. Here's how some Reddit members reacted to this story. The Dread Pirate Jeff reacted with, "Holy F. I mean, there are entitled parent stories, and then there is this. Glad you're here to tell us the tale. Yeah, I've never been more glad that I'm as clumsy as I am." Dewey reacted with, What the F? After being in a coma for 11 days. She didn't think that allergies were real. She was like, ah yes. Every 10-year-old loves faking a coma on their birthday. That makes sense. And finally, Unicorn Star 1988 reacted with, your own mother could have killed you. How the hell doesn't she believe in allergies and asthma? Nearly everyone living has an allergy. Heck, my cat has feline asthma. And my other cat has a food intolerance. Talk about stupid. Well, there you have it. A perfectly great set of reactions from a bunch of upstanding citizens. Help support this channel by smashing the like and subscribe buttons. And hit that silly little bell as well to ensure you get the latest videos as they come out. Fred is always finding stuff for me to post regularly. So this is Derek signing off. Thanks for watching. Good grief, it sounds like Fred is out of his pen again. He must have found more stories for me to share with you. See you soon.